Take a look at Victor Wembanyama and how the Phoenix Suns slowed down Victor Wembanyama. He has been top 3 in both MVP and Defensive Player of the Year so far. I think everyone would agree with the way they started so far. But let's take a look at how the Phoenix Suns defense slowed him down this game. This is the first average game he's had so far. Right here, notice right here, one thing I've noticed last year and this year, Bam did a little bit with the Miami Heat, is being aggressive with Victor, right? Anytime we're being aggressive with a rookie, with a sophomore, third-year player, you want to be probably a little bit over-aggressive, whereas we saw what Thunder can do when you're really aggressive with some players. It really makes so sometimes the fouls are not going to be called. You can get with some things defensively. This is not a slight to the Thunder, by the way, but look at this. They have 3 players. They are sagging off him. They are making sure that it is clogged. They want to get after him. Again, let's take a look at this. Again, Spurs have ran this. I remember in the preseason they've ran this play twice. I don't know if it was in the Spurs video or not, but look at this. Get after it, and they're just crowding the paint here. They're crowding it out here. They're saying, hey, listen, we don't want him to be the main threat here. And again, they are playing off him very well. Let's take a look at the second position. Pressing a little bit. We talked about this in the Portland Trailblazers video. Okay, that's very good. Now let's see how they're playing him. Ready? Look who they have on him, by the way. They have O'Neal on him for right now, and O'Neal is known to be a little bit scrappy of a player. But let's take a look at this action, right? Let's take a look at where we're at here, okay? Let's take a look at where we're at here. Look at Victor right here, and Royce is just going to get after him, okay? Royce is going to get after him, and that's not going to be a foul called either, right? They're not going to call him Victor. They're not going to call him Royce for blowing him up on the spot, right? It's just they're being tough, physical defense right here. Trying to get after it. Look at him. Look at what he's doing right here, guys. Look what he's doing with his arm here, okay? He already, before I pause this, he already shoved him twice, right, out of bounds, right? Just to say, hey, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Okay, bam, right here. The ref is letting him play here, but notice how when that pass happens, look at where the feet. I know you guys don't like me when I stop and think, but just take a look at what the defense is doing right now. Okay? They are just legitimate. The foul gets called here, but notice when the ball got put into Victor's hands, notice what we're doing here. And other teams were doing this, but throughout this game, you're going to see Phoenix is just one step closer, right? They're just one step closer to him. And again, it was a turnover. Take a look right here. Again, we're trying to block him out here, get after it. Victor, that's just, he's been able to do that a couple of times, but again, they're just being extra physical. This is just something where if Victor gets this ball a couple of times out of 10, he's not balanced, he's not set up, but this is something that he's going to make, even when you're aggressive with him, he's still going to make that shot, going to make that play, right? But again, they're being aggressive, they're kind of hitting his lower body a little bit. They're just being aggressive with him. Look at that. They're setting 2 bodies on him, making sure that he cannot get a good look on the rim. They're going to take a shot here. Again, we're just looking at all his clips here because they didn't have as many shots as before. Take a look at right here. Victor has a ball here. How are we going to go on the perimeter here? Bam. Look at, we watched the Spurs offense in the preseason and how many teams were making contact this early. Miami did this, by the way, and Dallas did do this in the first half, or try to, right? But look how more aggressive. Look, they're setting a double here. Bam. Gets the ball, double. Almost like the Dirk Nowitzki play from Don Nelson, right? Right here, we're getting it. Getting after it right here. And they're giving him touches, but usually teams like Dallas would double him when he got the ball in the paint, but look what they're doing now. They're giving the Dirk Nowitzki double team. And when I say Dirk Nowitzki, because this is back when the Warriors had an upset that was just double Dirk after the first dribble, right? Bam. First dribble, we're getting after it. And they are setting double teams early, but also they're setting the double team, guys. Sometimes it's, hey, let's wait till he puts the ball on the floor too. So they're doubling on 2 different ways, right? Bam! Ball on the floor. Let's get at him. Let's get him now. You know, and they're not just doing it one or the other, right? They're getting after it. Miami kind of did this last year. If you guys remember back when Bam and Victor kind of were getting after it, Miami kind of did it a little bit, but they didn't go all in on it like Phoenix kind of did a little bit here. Look at him. We're gonna look at this play here. I know you guys are saying why we show these plays. This is why. Right here. Look at the aggressiveness, guys. Bam. We have it right here. Look. Aggressive. They're botting him up. They're being aggressive there with what he's doing. Let's take a look here. Bam. Get a shot here. Get it going here. Again, let's see how Phoenix defends position. Watch this. Bam. They know where Victor is. Look at this. Bam. Getting after. Come off it. Notice how Royce wants to know where Victor is. It's almost as if, hey, we're okay with anyone else beating us, but it's not going to be him. It's not going to be him. They're going to switch it and make contact here. When he rolls, look how many people we have in the paint here. And again, I understand what some Spurs fans are saying, hey, we've seen this before a little bit, but what the Phoenix Suns are doing, they've executed it throughout the whole 48-minute game plan, right? It's not just been, hey, let's just do it for a half or a quarter. They were doing it for the whole possession. Look at this. They're rolling. Their eyes already on him. They have 8 eyes on him already, right? Ball goes over here. Get in position here. Again, we're going to make contact here. We're going to go for a steal here. Devin Booker gets hit here. I think they call for the foul there. But again, they are just getting after him and getting after him pretty well. And while this is something we talked about in his highlight video, right? Is this something you want to see if right now with the way he's playing? And I'm going to ask you guys right now. You are game planning against Victor, and I'm going to say, hey, Victor, come into the game. Would you rather have him take 3 shots from 3 or 8 shots from 3? What would you rather do? Of course, every team in the NBA is like, well, right now we're going to absolutely allow him to have 8 shots per game from the three-point line. Now, he's absolutely going to make those potentially, right? But he's doing way more damage to the paint this year than outside the paint, and I think that's a huge reason why they had some success here. Let's take a look at it here. Bam. See Devin Booker close up, getting after it. Good little blob. They've been using that blob for years, by the way. Spurs fans, how often it used to be Tim Duncan used to be at the elbow. They said down screen for either Ginobili or Parker. Obviously, everyone's been running this for since in the last 15 years, right? But it's funny to see just basketball meta just always goes 180, right? Like to see a harder screen set for Wemby, but they're fighting for position here. Done. Fighting for position. Look at this. Look at how they already have all these guys in the paint, and they're daring Spurs to shoot. They're like, hey, pass it out. We're okay with the Spurs. Anyone else shooting by him. And we're taking over here, getting after it, and again, fadeaway shot. That's a makeable shot, by the way, for Victor. Don't get me wrong, right? That is an absolute makeable shot. It's just off night. That's okay, but look at this. Getting after it. When he takes a dribble, what happens? Bam, take a dribble, go after it. Go after it. So that he doesn't have a lot of room after that first dribble, and he has to take those shots. Again, for those of you who've never really seen the Dirk Nowitzki versus Golden State Warriors, this is a big thing that they did against him. One dribble, get after it. One dribble. It's been around the NBA for years, but the reason why I said Dirk Nowitzki tripped me is because it's obviously one of the few times where 8 seed beat a 1 seed, and that was a play they did all the time. Double screen here. We talked about this in our preseason video for the Spurs offense. He pops out again, settling for a 3. He's going to be able to make those, right? But again, would you rather have him take this shot so far this year? Or would you rather have him do his Wemby MVP goated moves in the paint area? And you're going to be okay with this, Suns. You're like, listen, we're having a down look. We're going to be okay with this for all the whole Spurs team right now to take threes. Because right now the Spurs are on fire, but they're not on fire from really three-point line. Even though they are making them, it's more they're getting action in an inside-outside action. Again, Wembanyama going to take that 3. Again, he can absolutely make these threes, but again, you're okay with him taking those threes. Again, being aggressive, 2 on the ball here, and they're just making life hectic for him at all. Take a look at this again. We're getting it right here. Blob. Screen over here. Absolutely good roll by Wembanyama. Absolutely good. It's actually what you want to see because he was open a little bit earlier. I think you guys would agree here. It's probably open a little bit earlier here. Let the play develop a little bit here because you probably had a good little, not a bounce, but you had a good pass here. But again, get over here. And again, they just got to commit harder. Suns didn't commit hard enough, right? But again, going to have this first play of the game, just has it. You can't defend that. Let's be honest. You can't defend that. You can't defend that at all. Suns are in the wall. Again, Suns are struggling a little bit this year. Nice to see them be competitive here. And against the NBA, you can't go 82-0. It's just impossible. At least I think it's impossible 82-0. Again, he's going to go 3. And he's going to make those, right? But again, the Suns are saying, hey, we're okay with this 3-point shot. We're okay with him taking this 3-point shot and seeing what happens, and they're living with that. And again, Victor can absolutely take that shot and make it. Get the ball here, push it out. That's okay. Getting after it. And Phoenix has been more engaged here. Again, they're getting aggressive with him. They're making early contact with him. Okay, they're making early contact with him. They have 2 hands on him. Pushing over here. He's got to make it. And again, look at this. They're just being physical with Wembanyama. Spurs fans knew this was coming. They thought Miami would have probably been the first team to really, really test that, right? But again, they have it. And look at this already. Maybe a foul. I'm not going to call it official foul, but look at this. When you're able to be aggressive, look at Royce. He's got both hands on his hip two hands on him, which in college is usually a foul, right? In NBA, it's usually a foul two sometimes, which they call it. But again, they're letting him be aggressive. Look at this. Look at the stunt here. Look at how the crowding they are. They're getting after it, and they're just making it difficult for him. And again, Wembanyama can make all these shots too. It's not like, oh, well, he can never make these shots. He can absolutely make these shots, guys. And he has been, right? But just, this is a road game away. They're making it be difficult for him. Let's take a look at pop here. He's going to take a three. He's going to settle. Good. One dribble, two on the ball here. He has able to make that shot. But again, look at how they're crowded him. Look at how they're crowding him. Again, ball screen. Into a pop here. Flare action. Getting into a set, and he's okay. He's going to take a fadeaway. But again, you're okay with the Phoenix Suns taking fadeaway shots. You just are, right? You're just going to be. And again, this is the Miami Heat here. And again, we'll take a look at a couple possessions here. Bam kind of tried to block him out there, but let's take a look again. A little bit what Miami kind of did differently as opposed to Phoenix. Even Miami kind of had a similar game plan approach coming in. What Phoenix did is they just was a little bit more impactful in terms of what they're doing here. Again, right here, I'm not just getting it, but look at this. This literally should have been a little bit of a harder commit, a harder of a stunt. We saw Phoenix with Grayson Allen and Booker. They committed to the stunt a little bit harder, right? We just saw that. But they're just coming with a little bit of, yeah, it's a stunt, but it's not like a complete, okay, let's get after it, right? Phoenix, as Phoenix Suns fans would tell you, Spurs fans would tell you, what Phoenix did is they kind of pretty much said, listen, we want other people to shoot threes. And Wembanyama, you can shoot threes. Everyone else can shoot threes. And Wembanyama, you are not going to be able to take your easy points or the mid-range, high post area. You get into the shots you want. And the Phoenix Suns did a really good job. Of course, we're not going to get into officiating because maybe I think one or two plays could have been called for fouls, but they weren't. But again, they were aggressive. They sagged off. They had 8 eyes on Wembanyama at all times. And that's kind of how the Phoenix Suns had success with Wembanyama, at least in their first match of the season together. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and keep your sights on Basketball Vision.